Welcome back to D Game. We are we're back with one of the most controversial segments, I guess. We can have a discussion about. Everybody's going to be in a uproar, but hey, it is what it is. So today we're talking and going to break down the idea of dating single mothers. Everybody says, and I get more heck about this that I'm down on single mothers. I don't like them and stuff like that. I think they're wonderful people. I just trying to let guys know that, what it is and that there's more to dating a single mother than just, dating a single woman, you know. So, I mean, yeah, it just seems common sense, but they don't think about it, and a lot of people haven't, and women don't think that it's any different than dating another woman, that doesn't have kids. She doesn't see that it's all that different, and I'm going to explain what to look for, why, things to think about, and things to evaluate in your life, uh, on both sides, men and women, to before you date a single mother, or before you date a dude when you're a single mother, and maybe things you might have to do that's more, but so I'm not down on single mothers. I think single mothers are great. I do. Obviously we all know the ones that aren't wonderful, but of the vast majority, I think are wonderful people. I think they deserve things. They think they have just ended up in a bad situation or made some poor choices in their life, and this is where they sit. So either way, they have to move forward in life. They can't just sit. So they have choices. You know, so if you're a single mother, or thinking of single mother guys, they have to be a little bit more. They have less choices because they have to be a little more selective now that they have a child. And, for multitude of reasons. I mean, I'm sure you understand the basic premise, but I mean, generally, how many times you see these young gals that are without kids or whatever, dating felons and druggies and drug users, and they're out, alcoholics and drinking and partying and all that. Well, when you're a single mother, your priorities are going to change just a little bit. So them really aren't an option anymore. So it eliminates a portion of the dating pool, I guess you could say. So yeah, you take people that have criminal records, and they really don't. A women's mindset just change a little bit when they have kids, and they instead of thinking about themselves, for the majority, thinking about themselves in the immediate time that what they want to do, they're thinking more of the future. So they get a little more selective. So yeah, you take somebody with criminal record, generally depends on what, but a single mother's not going to want to get with a guy that's going to be in and out of jail or prison, or dealing with legal problems, all that stuff. She's just not really gonna, but the vast majority aren't, just common sense. Obviously, somebody that using drugs, which isn't really the greatest thing either way, but generally they're not going to want them around for obvious reasons. Hardcore alcoholics, kind of common sense. they're not going to want them around. That doesn't mean that you can't, somebody that can't drink. I mean, it's somebody that, goes out on the weekend a day, or whatever, and has a few beers, whatever the deal is, fine. But somebody that has to drink every day, obviously it's going to increase some red flags for her. And then can't be broke, can't be can't be working, making 25 grand a year, not going to be something real attractive to her. She's, got a family to provide for. And the man she selects isn't always, quote, going to be the father, but he's going to have to contribute in some way and have things to provide the next few things like safety and security. They got to have a little nest egg, got to have something put away. They got to have, reliable transportation, a nice place to live, safe, not in, a rundown, crappy little apartment. And like I say, these are things that women, they do think about, maybe not all at once, maybe not all, consciously, but it is a subconscious thing because they have to worry about protecting their kids. They got to worry about their kids' future. So if you don't have a future, it's going to be extremely hard. So they're looking for somebody that checks a lot of boxes, So the dating pool is going to, slim up, quite a bit. Also, usually, I mean, single mothers, I mean, they can be anywhere from 18 to, whatever. But, generally when you think about it, it's the average, I guess, would be somewhere around that 25, 24 range. So they're not going to want anybody younger. Women generally, 90% or more won't really be interested in dating anybody younger than they are. So, you take all that into account, it really starts to narrow up the pool of people that would be potential mates, to date. So, I mean, there's always obviously some of them that don't really care. I mean, but I'm not trying to focus on them. That's kind of the offshoot, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, if a woman that has kids doesn't really see that there has to be a lot more, then generally you're not going to want to date her other than for the physical. So, I mean, we know that. They might not know that, but so, so when you take all that and start narrowing it down, then on top of all that, they have to, find somebody that's left, right, that they're attracted to, right? And the people that are left that they're attracted to, they need to be single. So that narrows it down even more. At least they hope they're going to be single, run into a bunch of situations like that in life. But yeah, you start to see where dating with a single mother is great, but there's a lot to it, and they've got a lot going on, and they've got a lot riding on their potential mates, for dating. They're not generally, unless we know the ones that we're all talking about, but the vast majority are going to be a lot more selective and a lot more, they're probably going to change who they normally date. You probably see them with different people than what they had selected in the past. So, which is a good thing. I'm not knocking it in any way. I think a woman should always try to elevate herself, and always strive for the best guy she can get. I would never knock a woman for doing that. I mean, sometimes they do it in certain ways that is pretty sad, but I'm not going to ever knock for the idea of what they're doing. And, they got, now they got the kids to worry about. So they do definitely have to have, more than just, run around partying, hang out, dude. You got to have somebody that could be a potential father. I'm not saying he has to be a father, but that's leads into another area that we have to take into account. Single women that have single mothers that with kids, they say that, oh, I'm not looking for a father for my child. He already has one. Whether they're in the kids' life or not, you hear that a lot. And it's true. They're not looking for somebody to be a full-fledged father when they're looking to date. But now if the relationship goes on for 4 or 5 years, okay, you're going to take most of the father roles, and just be well aware, even if they say they're not looking for this, and they're not at the time, but it is a natural progression of the relationship when you're dating a single mother, and guys, when we deal with this, it's, I mean, come on, we're thinking of one thing, really. They're cute, good looking, fun. We're going to, get what we like. And that's the deal. We're focused on them, and they have kids. Great. Right. In general, especially younger guys. What I mean by younger is 30 and under, they're looking, they're not really looking for a full-fledged family, pre-made family. When they're dating these women, they're just looking for the woman, and yes, she has kids, and you're a decent dude, so you're good to the kids, and the next thing you know, you have a full-fledged family, pre-made. So it's things that you need to really look out for if you're dating them. And this is just advice to guys, and maybe awareness to women, that this is the way we think. I get and understand where you guys are thinking, and there's nothing wrong with the way women are thinking about it, and there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Now, if they're just looking for another baby daddy dude, you gotta figure that out real quick, and jump ship. If you don't have kids, man, you gotta bounce. But just evaluate that a little bit. The percentage of women looking for that is, I'm not saying it's high, but everybody knows it's out there. But just be aware of it. You never know when you're going to come across someone. Now, women, single mothers, they're looking to be, not lifted up, by their man. Some are, but they don't want to be held down by their man either. So they're looking for somebody that's absolute bare minimum, equal across, from them, for income and status wise. Generally, we all know that a lot, not saying all single mothers, but a lot are on the very low side of financial and their situation, very low side. So they are not looking straight across. If you're straight across and you're dating and she has no problem with this, dude, you're just a placeholder. She's just looking for somebody to be around. If she's not lonely, she's not looking to keep you for any reason. So keep that in mind. If she's looking for somebody, and like I say again, I don't fault them at all for this, and I think they should look for a man that's doing better than they are, and not have him drag them along, but give them an opportunity to move up. Not because of all that he does, just because of his situation and his knowledge. It allows some of the stress to go off of her, and allows her to do maybe a couple different things to allow herself to move up, and then the whole family's doing better. So, but I like to say it's there's nothing wrong with that, and it's understandable. I'm not knocking women for doing this. Deal the guys really need to think about is, especially guys 30 and under. I mean, even 35 and under anymore, that are single and they don't have kids, and you're used to a certain lifestyle. Generally, you probably don't have a lot. You haven't made your millions yet. You're still, hanging around with your friends and going out and partying a little bit and enjoying your life and going on maybe a couple trips, but working the menial job and getting by, nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it seems to be more and more and more these days. There's a lot of guys like this, and I'm not knocking you guys, dude. Live your life the way you want. That's cool. I'm just trying to give you advice to keep you out of trouble. When it comes to women, not to keep you out of trouble, dude. Don't hold me to that. But one piece of advice is like and subscribe. Come on, at least the things that I'm going to tell you are going to be, not epiphanies. This amazing thing, but it's going to be things that you really need to start thinking about and at least keep it in the back of your mind. So, throw that on there and get it out to other people, because that's the way all this works with the algorithm. Is if you like it, you subscribe it. If you comment, even if it's just a thumbs up, thumbs down, don't do that, but whatever. It just puts it out in the algorithm and gets it out to more and more people. So, and that being said, your life as, a guy, especially single and in your 20s, mid 20s, maybe even upper 20s now, you're having fun, man. You're living life. You're enjoying things. And generally, when you're, dating somebody, you're not looking, anything super, super serious, but you want to have somebody around. So if you're having trouble dating and all you can find is a few single mothers, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying be well aware of what you're getting into, and especially don't mess the kids up. At that age they're probably young and they won't know, but just make sure you play it cool and treat people with with, cause you're not just messing with one person, messing with two or three or four or whatever it is. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And generally you guys are going to be good people. I mean, we're not ones to run around and I'm never dating a single mother. I don't want kids around and yada yada. We're all pretty accepting, and yeah, we're generally family guys. But do we want a pre-made family, and what does that all entail? A few of the things is if you're younger guy doing your thing, probably out playing video games a lot after work and hanging out with your friends. Well, with a pre-made family, you're probably not going to enjoy as much time doing that. And especially as the relationship prolongs. I mean, maybe the first 3 months you're good, 6 months, but after a year, 2, okay, now your time is getting more limited, and she is kind of wanting you to focus more on the family, and you have more responsibilities, and more duties so you don't have that time to do that. Plus, who knows, TVs might be all being watched anyway, and then what? Then in the same aspect of, if you come home, you sit down and you're just playing video game, well, either she worked all day or she's been home with the kids all day, and you just come home and start playing video game. I mean, at some point she's going to need a little of her time, to get away, or she's going to need a little time for you too. Otherwise, what's the point of being in a relationship if you two are never together? So you keep that in mind, that you're going to have to give up more as time goes on. And I'm not saying completely, but heck, you might play 2-3 hours, 4, 5, 6 hours a day, now, and a lot of the weekends, dating a pre-made family is going to be, you might be down to a couple hours a week. So just keep that in mind. You can't go out and spend money as much as you did, because they're going to rely on the income you bring in more and more as the relationship goes on. I'm not saying they're looking for your money, but it's a given, and us as men, we all know that. It's another thing is the child's father or fathers, they're going to be involved somehow. And let's take it for instance that they're not. They don't even know. That's extremely rare. Okay. Generally they know, whether it's court, child support, custody, visitation, money, all that. There's always going to be some sort of drama, and that you're never going to get away from. I mean, you're dating someone that has a relationship had a kid because of the relationship, and is now going to have a relationship with the woman you're dating for the next 20 some years. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't interfere. It just causes problems. So keep that in mind, that part is never going to go away, and you better be okay with accepting that. Also, you're going to, with your time and work and stuff like that, you're going to have to spend, as it progresses, you're going to have to spend more time at work. You're gonna have to make more money because the family is gonna need it. Uh, so, and then when you do make more money, that doesn't mean you have more money to go do things like you used to. That money is already spent. So understand that you're gonna have a lot of nights in just you guys, and there's no more going run around with friends. I mean, they might be going out to eat or taking their girlfriends out on dates, or meeting down having a beer, or going to whatever and having fun. But you can't take the entire family. Generally, she's not going to want you to go do all the fun stuff alone. And when it comes to money, she ain't going to want you spending that money, frivolously, as in her eyes. So she's going to have a lot to say and a lot of input and influence on you. So keep that in mind. I know that it sounds, I know just off the surface, you're like, oh, well, yeah, of course. But I mean, just take a minute and really think about it, and prepare yourself for getting in to getting into with a single mother. It's the deal is there's a lot. Now, if you this is the debate, and this is always the hard part, because it's not hard for me. I mean, I know the right thing, but it's hard to convey without I guess insulting or irritating single women. Single mothers, for whatever reason, they are now single with uh, with uh, with their kids. Now, everything you hear about is that the guy they were with was just horrible. It's always his fault. But through all your dating, women aren't angels. So it's 50-50. So it's don't take that to heart. But you're always going to hear it. And if they are down and hate, like bad and hate, and always nagging and complaining about this guy, that's going to be the same way she feels about you when she's angry. So be well aware, keep that in your mind. Women don't think that they do know, I mean, they know it, that there's a difference between a single mother and a single gal. Let's say they're both 25, both, equally attractive. One has a kid or two, another one doesn't have any kids. I mean, obviously there's a difference, and there's a difference in dating, obviously. But women think that men should just see them as the same. And that can't happen. There's no way. I mean, there's a vast difference. And so when we do see them in the way we should, which is different, they get angry. They don't like being turned down, because, I mean, I've never heard anybody turn down a single mother because she's a mother. Now, I mean, we've had talks with my friends that, yeah, that's the reason why they didn't date them, or they stopped dating them. But it never to their face, never made it known to them. But they get really irritated when you would rather date the single gal. And I mean, maybe I don't know if it hurts her feelings or. I mean, obviously, to a point, it must. I mean, they're human, uh, but I don't know where the thought pattern. Maybe they realize that their pool is getting smaller, and you were one of the picks, and now you're not available. So, uh, they're getting a little more stressed out that they're going to be the, you know, crazy cat lady. You know, uh, but if you have a choice, and I'm going to get griped at because people hear this and they'll give me the old finger wag and say I'm a horrible person. You have a choice. Date the single girl, not the single mother, if everything is equal. Not saying single mothers ain't the best. I'm just saying if you don't have kids and you're a single guy and you're looking to start a family and do and become, and go through life and become, with a woman, the pre-made family is not the way to go. Ultimately, it's an option. Everybody has different feelings and every situation's different, but it's not optimal. It puts you at a disadvantage, a huge disadvantage. For one, you are not the father to the children. You may have a little authority, but the ultimate authority is going to land on her. And you'll never have that. Never. It doesn't matter if you're together 10 years and you're married and you've, changed her life or whatever the situation is. You've done everything. If you make a decision about her child, she is always going to have the ability to overthrow you. You will never be able to have full authority ever, regardless of what she says, regardless of how she pleads it. And it's just true. And I mean, honestly, I think it's probably the way it should be, that it's not your kid. Now, it leads to so much that you really, really need to sit back and think about that, because it leads to so much. Because I mean, we think about, us in a relationship or a marriage with our kids and our wife and girlfriend, whatever. Hopefully not wife and girlfriend. Well, you never know, but if you think about that, and you have a way of thinking about it, but you never add in that, no, you can't make that decision. Them decisions aren't up to you. If you start running them scenarios through your head, it might change your thought pattern just a little bit, or maybe put you on a little bit of caution, just being well aware of the situation. And these are things, like I say, honestly, think about them. Honestly, run the scenarios through your head. It's a major thing. And then also the fact that if it doesn't work out, right? If you are with a single gal, no kids, it doesn't work out, little heartbreak, whatever for both sides, whatever, however it worked out, whatever the deal is. And both adults and walking away. Just the way it's what happens. If you're with single mother. Now, now you involved other people that had no choice in into this, and that's it depends on how you go about it, or if you did something that I guess you could be looked at as it being cruel, to certain things, being a bad person, but you. Like I say, when you think even that's the things that you're accepting, that you are going to be viewed that way for certain things if certain things go wrong, right? I mean, that's part of dating a single mother. I mean, there's a million little things that nobody thinks about. I mean, I know exactly what you're thinking about, guys. I know exactly what you're thinking about. But you can get that from a single woman too without kids. Okay. Now, obviously, where there's far outliers that maybe a guy can't have kids. Hey, dude, do what you got to do. You know, enjoy your life. But that's very rare instances. Now, switching it a little bit here and talking to the mothers, talking to the women. If you if if you have you're a single mother. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know how you got there. I don't know what it was. Let's say, the guy cheated on you and you had to kick him out, or he was a loser or whatever. You picked him. You made bad decisions. You, that's, yeah, he might be what you say, but it falls on you too. So don't just sit there and say, oh, well, he was just this, so it's no major deal. No, it falls on you. Also, not entirely, but it does. And just keep that in mind that it falls on you. You've made bad decisions and now you're in this situation. Not saying that having kids as a single mother is a bad thing, but it adds a lot to one's life, and changes a lot of things, a lot of aspects of life. It just, you can't blame just the guy, even though he might be to blame, but you picked him. Okay. So keeping that in mind, if you have already made bad decisions, then take a little more time and I get it. I mean, lonely, want a relationship, stressful, all this, but just keep in mind that maybe just take a little more time and dig a little deeper, about this guy. Okay. So understand that men, I mean, your normal guy, girls here, listen, your normal guy isn't going to think about it a lot like I do. They're going to be like, nah, just girl kids, and they're not going to think about all this extra. So, they're just going to kind of navigate it as they go through. So I think about it ahead of time. I think there's a difference between guys and men. Okay. I think if women think about the two things in their head, they know the difference. I think about a lot of things far ahead. So when I say, all of a sudden I think, okay, she's made bad decisions before. So I'm on alert to make sure she isn't continuing to make bad decisions. Not on the choice of guy, because I mean, come on, I don't mean to brag, but it's kind of who I am. But really, in general life? Is she making the right choices, or taking the time to make the right choices, or the best choice she can? That's something that I definitely pay attention to. I do, even when I'm dating a regular single woman, but I mean, it doesn't carry as much weight, I guess. How she interacts with kids, how she carries herself. Does she want to move up? Like I said at the beginning, uh, does she want to better herself? She want the best life for her kids. You take all that, and men really do think about this stuff. And the problem is, it adds a few more guy or men that will step aside, not take you. But it's probably good, because they have to make their decision too. Also, now keep in mind, no one's going to be perfect. There is no guy that is going to be the perfect guy that walks in and everything is 1,000% and great. There's no woman that's going to be that way either. There's no single mother that's going to be that way. So keep in mind that that's not really, possible. Maybe 1 in a billion, but it's probably not possible. Now, women, you are asking him to take on all this extra responsibility, right? And I know you're saying no, I don't want another father. 5 years in, what do you expect? He's going to be taking the kids back and forth to school. He's going to be paying for things. He's going to, they're going to go to soccer practice. He's going to be buying a minivan. You know what I mean? He's going to be part of the family. And so, yes, he's got to take on that role. So don't try to deceive him. You don't have to make it known, because we all kind of know, but don't try to, oh, no, they already got a father. You don't ever have to do that. So, I mean, with that being said, when you interpret it to us, that being said, well, then he's just going to go to work. He's going to come home. He's going to sit down. He's going to play video games. He's going to hang out with you, go to bed, enjoy himself, go to sleep, go to work next day. But how long is that going to last? If you're not going to put up with that. I mean, you're not going to put up with that at all. So keep in mind, I mean, just let's be realistic about things. So if he's taken on all these extra responsibilities, all these extra things, and finds you as valuable enough, or wonderful enough, however you want to say it, that he's willing to do all this, and you can't be the same to him as the single gal with no kids would be to him. You can't. You're asking him to do all this extra when he could just be dating this other gal and not have to. Okay? If you're asking for more, and you might not be asking for more right away, but if you guys are together, it's going to lead to that, and you know it. You have to offer more, and you got to figure out whatever that is. Maybe overlook a couple bad habits, whatever the deal is. Nothing too much, but deal with a little more bullshit that, or whatever the deal is. You do have to up your game, I guess. Is that, fair? I'm not saying that that guys won't be with you anyway, but generally the guys that you want won't be. Okay. There's, I mean, you all know it. There's a never ending line of guys that'll go be with you, but they don't want you. You don't want them. The guys you actually want that are, what you're looking for, and they have a flaw or two. Keep in mind, you're not perfect either. You're asking them to do way more than what they really need to. They could always go. I'm not saying you just say, just go be with her then. You don't need to, not like that. Just saying, this guy accepted you. This guy wants to be with you. Be more. Be the reason, or be the vision of what he's trying. He wants to be with you, then you be better than the other choice, right? I'm not saying always compete, but just always be one step better, in whatever case that is, right? Now, if you have a guy like that, and if you're a single mother and you have a guy like that, and he is what you want, except for X, an X, whatever that stands for, Understand that you better keep the guy if he's a good guy, if he's got a future, if he provides everything that he brings everything that needs to be brung. Don't get on your high horse and I can do better. I don't need this, or I've got 40 guys that want to date. Great. You don't want none of them. And if there is one or two that you want, they're, you know what I mean? Because any guy, you know it. There's a huge difference between sexual attraction and sexual interest in a woman and relationship interest in a woman. Difference is, women will come right out and tell us no and curb us, and say, this ain't going to happen. I'm not interested in you. I'm not this, I'm not that. And they'll tell us straight out, up front, overtly, very clear. Men don't. We are covert about it. We might get together with somebody 6 months in. We might know we're never going to stay with them, but we'll hang out for a year or two, and you'll never know it. You might be together 2 years, and the relationship was over in his mind a year and a half ago, but you'll never know. He'll never change. He'll never give you any indication. You just, it's just the way we are. But when you are done as a woman, the same thing you do when you're done, except you guys are always that way at the final month, 2 months, at tops 3 months, that you're done. You just got to get to the point of being done, right? That's that there. We could have a whole relationship like that. So you'll never really know. And that's the thing is be selective. And I know you are, because you got a lot to think about. Guys, be selective. Really run this stuff through your head and look at your future. And make sure it's what you want, and you're gonna you giving this stuff up is no big deal. And you're going to think, yeah, well, I'm not going to give it all up. I'll just make time. No, dude, I'm telling you, got kids, raise them by myself. I know. You don't have time. You work, you come home, you take care of kids. Period. There's always something to do. So there's nothing. I mean, you might get a couple hours on a weekend, but that's it. Okay. So yeah, don't fool yourself. And like I say, a lot of them are worth it. I'm not saying they're not. Just make sure it's the right one for you. Think about what I said. Run these scenarios through your head. If you need to, if you ever do date a single mother, replay this, run it back, run the scenarios through your head. Just keep them fresh. Just for you don't get caught up in this, dude. I know you. It's easy to get caught up in stuff, especially when you're young. It doesn't really happen that much anymore. Because I've been through it so much that I know when I'm looking for, I can see it coming. So, you can write it out on a calendar when things are going to happen and how things are going to go after for not too long, but you'll get there. Hopefully you won't. Hopefully you'll find the love of your life and you guys will get married and live forever and all that jazz. But, until then, just be very well aware and very cautious about what you're going to do and who you're going to be with, who you're going to do. And don't get into a situation you're not ready or prepared for. I've had friends that have gotten into a situation with a single mother like this. Great person. Not saying she wasn't. Actually a great kid. I knew the kid. Great kid. He wasn't ready, and it wasn't what he really wanted after about 9 months, and didn't know how to get out. He was there for like a year and a half, and finally he said something to me, and I'm like, well, talking about, and he's like, dude, I don't want this. I mean, she's great. She's wonderful. I just don't want to have a family. Not right now. I mean, at the time he was young. I think he was like 24, 25, something like that, maybe 26, but he didn't want to have it at the time, but he didn't know how to tell her because he honestly cared and loved her. And he honestly thought the kid was great too, but it wasn't the direction he wanted his life. And he was having conflict and it was hard on him. So, just keep that in mind. Really, 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 really think about stuff, because when you're dealing with a single mother, you're dealing with the kids too, and they don't have a choice. So you're going to be in somebody's life. Make sure you want to be in their life. It's not a joke. You can really mess some people up. Also women, if you had that dude or that dude, best give him a call, swallow your pride, whatever the deal is. I don't know what the situation was, but a lot of that stuff don't come along all that much. So, at least maybe reach out and see if it's a thing or not. I don't know the situation, but there's obviously certain things that are huge at the moment, and a week, a month, 2 months later, it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for fucking watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Come on. I got to build this somehow. Let me know if you have a situation. If it doesn't matter what, with dating or relationships, and you want me to talk about it, you can contact me, not just through comments, but I'm sure there's people that know me, and we can get it through one way or another. And or if you're looking to be on, still looking for guests. So just get a hold of me. We'll figure out a time, schedules, all that stuff, and get some more advice out to you if there's anything that you guys really need. If not, you guys are gonna have to just suffer through. We're gonna go through everything. So you guys are gonna suffer through it. That's just the way life's gonna be. So nothing I can say about it. So all right, I'm out. You guys have a good one. Later.